So something I like to say is, no, all things regarding equity, diversity, inclusion, when we really look at everything, we look at our history, we look at what we've been told that maybe is inaccurate, that is inaccurate in most cases. You know, diversity was the start of all of this. And it is the way that we will get out of it, right? Diversity, people being different, created those systems, those power dynamic systems of superiority, inferiority. So yes, diversity kind of got us into this mess, but you know, the solution is the diversity and understanding that diversity. The solution's right there, and we have to look at, that's the historical piece, right? We have to look at how that divide based on our differences is now going to be the solution. And that's when we start having those conversations, we start including everybody in processes that are going to impact those that are historically been marginalized and discriminated against, and we'll get there. So my name is Colleen James. I am the founder and principal consultant of Divonify Incorporated. I help organizations and individuals really unpack and provide guidance around all things equity, inclusion, diversity, anti-oppression within their organizations, but within greater society. How does everything that is happening in current society impact our workspaces? How do we address employees who are being silenced or who are feeling marginalized, isolated? What's leadership's role in all of that? What is the employee role in all of that? So providing guidance around not just having the awareness, the understanding, but how do we disrupt systems that historically have marginalized people within our society, within our country. People should know that it's really about having everybody within your organization be part of a process to change, to make it better, where everyone can feel like they are contributing to something and their voices are valued and there's meaningful change that is happening. So for leadership, I often say, you know, it's not about that thinking about the box. It's not about that checking a box, because that's what's historically got us into the situations that we're in today. It's really about that box not existing, rebuilding, rebranding from the ground up, and having a leadership model that's based on circles that involves everybody. So, you know, that box has got us in trouble, and leadership needs to understand that for all things racial, social justice issues within, you know, workspaces and society, it's about everyone being part of the solution and making their environments thrive. You don't want employees to feel like they are just coming into work and then leaving and shutting off. You want them to feel like they are part of a family environment. And that means that, yes, we may not get along sometimes, or maybe, you know, disagreements, but at the end of the day, everything that's being done is being done with a common goal, and that all of the employees need to be part of that common goal. It's not just about profits, it's about creating that corporate environment, that corporate culture that reflects the communities that they're serving and that they're working for. There's sometimes that, you know, there are situations happening within the workforce as they are within society, and you know, there's value in having somebody come in, get understanding for what the corporate culture is there a culture of safety for their employees? And I think, you know, for anybody who works in I mean, for anybody who works in any setting, there needs to be that element of creating that safety for employees and recognizing that if something's going right, you're going to hear about it. But if there are things that need to change, things that need to help make that environment better, making sure there's a space for that to happen. And that's something that I know I take pride in, is really coming into an environment and saying, okay, what is happening here? Unraveling some of those layers of the onion to see, okay, are employees feeling appreciated? Because we spend so much time devoted to our work, and everyone needs to be appreciated and feel appreciated and recognized. And at the end of the day, it's really about, the human in everybody and seeing that, because what we're seeing is a lot of, historical dehumanizing that still transcends into today. And it's bringing that human element back into our workspaces. It's not just about get the job done. It's about that person who's walking into your environment and what are they bringing with them? What experience, what lived experience, and how is that going to complement the environment? And everyone needs to recognize that. That's an everybody role. It's not just a leadership role. We need to really bring back that human into our workspaces. History impacts everybody. So it's part of the understanding to where we are today. So we need to understand how systems were built. Systems of exclusion were built. That need for people, that must for people to demand access to, demand opportunities. And seeing now where there are still gaps, there are still structures that exclude, that prohibit individuals from having access to. So we need to understand the historical context, because first of all, there's truth that we don't know about. And, people will say, it's about unlearning, but, for me, it's like we can't unlearn something we've never been taught. So you need to understand the historical context and then move from there and say, okay, well, what's the context in today? Are we still seeing disparities? Are there still, lack of representation? Is there still lack of voices around spaces where key decisions are being made? And understanding why it's so important. Because for far too long, decisions have been made about people without the input, right? And it can be about race, can be about gender identity, it can be about, just status in general. So it's so important for that historical know-how, and to create the space, the brave space for conversations to happen about that, because I recognize that we can't address anything today without fully understanding all of the dehumanizing that has happened in the past. And it's a reality. There's that awareness piece, that understanding the lived experiences, understanding the perspectives of those that differ from us. It's different narratives, right? And I think we spend time there, but we have to move past that. So one of the things I know with Divonify and the work that I've been doing is about, that awareness piece, but also that believing. People need to believe what they're hearing, believe what they're seeing, believe when people speak up, because you need to bring others along with you, right? You can't say, we always say this work, it cannot be done alone. So you need to be aware, you need to believe what you are hearing, because you're gonna need to bring people along with you. And to get to that practical, that change, that allyship piece, it's really about being a champion, being a co-conspirator, and then moving to disrupting, moving to dismantling. But you can't do the disrupting and dismantling and championing until you really address that awareness piece, understanding the narratives that are different from what we historically know, and bringing people along with us. It really is a journey. And I think with the work that I'm doing and the work that organizations are doing, they're starting to get that. And it's not easy, and it can be very messy, but at the end of the day, again, it's about that human, bringing back that human element and creating that environment where we all can thrive.